The next morning Buster and Fern met before class to plan their strategy. "We have to act fast," said Fern. Buster nodded. "Pretty soon the trail will be colder than the penguin's tootsies." Fern gave him a look. "Anyways, this may be a case where we want to work both forward and backwards," she said. Buster frowned. "What does that mean?" Fern opened a notebook and consulted the first page. "We go forward by examining the graffiti site. We look for the clues that may lead us to whoever's responsible. But we can also work backwards from the idea that whoever is doing this is trying to get Binky in trouble. Otherwise, there's no point in using his name. So if we can figure out who that is, maybe we may be possible to catch them in the act." Buster stared at her. Fern sounded just like a character out of a book. "You thought that up all by yourself?" he asked her. She nodded. "I've read a lot of mysteries, and it's very important to get yourself to think the right way." "I guess thinking is important," said Buster, "but you have to act like a detective too. People tend to spill the beans when they believe you've got them cornered, like a rat on a sinking ship." "I suppose," said Fern. "I never thought about it quite like that. Either way, I think we should interview some witnesses. We should start with Mr. Morris." That makes sense to Buster. After all, Mr. Morris had been the first to find Binky Rules. "Okay," he said agreeably. Then he saw the brain and Arthur signaling to him, making faces and waving their hands. At first he didn't understand what they were doing, but then he figured it out. "Wait a minute, Fern," said Buster. "Who put you in charge?" "Well, nobody," Fern admitted. "Do you have a different idea?" Then she saw Francine and Muffy signaling to her, making faces and clutching their fists. At first she didn't understand what they were doing, but then she figured it out. "Actually, it doesn't matter if you do," said Fern. "I'm the more experienced investigator." "Oh, really?" said Buster. "Says who?" I already found the first piece of evidence, yellow chalk used by the perp." "The perp?" "The perpetrator," Buster explained. "The one who wrote the graffiti. He wrote his eyes. It always tough dealing with amateurs," he thought. "Let's see it," said Fern. "Maybe there's a brand name or fingerprints or—" Buster started to pull the chart from his pocket, but all he came out with was a handful of yellow dust. Fern laughed. "First rule of detecting, Buster. Never sit on your evidence."